Hi, everybody. It's Warren Burke. I am the interim chair of the Economic Development Committee. I want to welcome you all.
Good evening, Warren.
Hello, Mia. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good. And I see that. Let's see who else is on here. Okay. Anderson, I don't know. How are you, Dexter?
I am excellent, Mr. Burke.
Good. Call me Warren. How is your summer?
Just so. Oh,
Good. Okay. Hello,
that's pretty good.
Suki. Was good.
Hi, Warren.
Hi. How are you?
I just got my COVID booster today, so feeling a little achy, but
Okay.
I'm here.
You'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to start the meeting. The first thing I'd like to do is to welcome everybody and welcome the new board members as well as the new resident members. And very pleased to see the quality of skill sets of the resident members as well as the board members. I think the first thing we should do is just go around and introduce ourselves and just give ourselves a little background. So let's see. So I'll call off people. Okay, the first person is Anderson Mateo. Anderson, are you there? Okay. Dexter. Dexter is a member of Community Board 9. Dexter, you want to introduce yourself and give us some background?
This is Anderson. I was just able to unmute my phone.
Okay, so Anderson, thank you for attending. You want to just introduce yourself and give us a little background?
Well, briefly, I saw the invitation to this invite to the event, and just curious to hear more and learn about you all, and that's really all it is.
Excellent. Okay, so you're a resident of Community Board 9.
That's correct.
Okay, welcome. Okay, Dexter, would you like to just introduce yourself?
Hi, good night, everyone, and welcome to the Economics Committee. I am new in this committee. You know something, Warren? It is so ironic that I have 3 A's in economics, but ask me, what do I know?
Oh,
So at
great.
school, I did economics. I did like 4 classes, and each of the classes that I did, I have A's in them, but ask me, what do I know?
True.
But I'm happy
But
to be here tonight with you guys, and someone, if you call up on me to do something, I will be more than able to help. And if I have to do something and I do not know what to do, I know how to ask people to help me. Okay?
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, the next person is a resident member, Marlena.
Hello, let me try to put my camera on. Nope, it's not. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I am a new resident to this area. I lived in Brooklyn since I was raised in Queens and Brooklyn. Went to Catholic school, middle school and Catholic school in Brooklyn, Catholic Macaulay, that is now closed. And can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
And I was a former military wife, and returned to New York 10 years ago, lived in Bed-Stuy for about 10 years, and just moved to this neighborhood about a year ago, a little bit more than a year. And wanted to, while I was at Bed-Stuy, I was on the board of trustees for my daughter's school. So I was always involved in the community. And when I came over here and saw this opportunity, I decided to put my name in the ring and see if I would be accepted, and I was.
Excellent. So welcome aboard, and thank you for being a veteran's wife. Okay, it's a hard life. All right. Okay.
Warren, 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
My nephew, who is 10 years old, just said to tell the service wife that thank you for her service.
Wow.
He's
That's exactly
we're no longer
right.
married, but I'll tell him.
Okay, well, you still did the service, so, okay, you as well as him. Okay, so the next person, I believe, is me. I'm Warren Burke. I'm the interim chair of this committee. I'm also the first vice chair of the community board. And I look forward to working with all of you. And if anybody, once everybody gets to the meeting, we can take a look at who should be the permanent chair. But until then, I'll take care of it. I've been the chair of the Economic Committee probably 2 or 3 times over the time I've been on the board. And we've been able to do certain things and some very, very good things. And I look forward to doing that on this committee. The basis of this committee is that we are how should I put this? A self-made committee, meaning that some committees on the community board react to things, and other committees have to generate ideas and programs to achieve their objective. Our objective, in my words, and by the way, this is not limited to this, we have open ears for all these things, is that the Economic Committee is really charged with improving the economics or the businesses and the revenue producing areas of our community, whether it be creating jobs, attracting industry, working and training our merchants and things like that. And there's really just a lot of things we can do if we want to do it. Basically, to give you some of the things that we've done in the past is that a couple of years ago we had a shop local program around the holiday time, and what we did is and I'll get into this later, we raised money for the event, and we had this very big event on 3 different avenues. I believe it was Flatbush, Nordstrom, and it was supposed to be Utica, and it was Utica, but I'm just not that familiar with that part of the event. But basically what we did is that starting with Thanksgiving, we started promoting buy local and our merchants. And we did a whole bunch of things like advertising. We got those flags for outside, the things that are in a base and they wave in the wind and everything. And that was put in each of our merchant stores. We actually set up tables throughout the community on those routes. And we were able, through fundraising, to buy cookies and other Christmassy things. And it really got people's attention. We had things like if you visited so many merchants, you got entered into a raffle, things like that. So that's the kind of economic development that there's no direct result, but we do know that it has an impact. The other thing we've done, I mean, probably one of the proudest things we've done on the board, or I've done on the board, is, hold on one second. I just want to see something. Okay, that's better. One of the proudest things we did is that, and this was working with the coalition of committees through the CV9, as well as with Borough Hall and Grow New York City, is that we were able to, through the then borough president, Adams, we were able to establish a fresh food market, farm stand on, at this point, it's on Nordstrom and I believe Carroll. But the genesis was that the supermarket, the Associated Supermarket, was closing due to new construction, and it sort of left a food barrier. I mean, there are other supermarkets, either way, but for those people who live in that central area, it really was needed. And it also brought really fresh produce and fruit to all of our residents. And that's every Friday. It's actually by Medgar Evers School, the high school, and it's open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And very proud of that. And it has been growing, and the demand has been increasing, excuse me, each day. So we're going to be going into our second year, I believe, in October. So that's something that we can work on. How do we build upon it, and how do we promote it so everybody gets the benefits? Another thing that we did is that for the first time, CV9 had a community fair last June, and it was in Ronald. What's the last name, Mir?
It's Dr. Ronald McNair Park at Claxton and between President at Eastern Parkway.
Okay, thank you. And this was a huge success. And then economic development was one of the 10 committees that made it a success. And we really provided, the objective overall was to provide information to our residents. And we had a great showing by all the different vendors, health vendors, education vendors. We had local food providers doing the food catering, where people would buy things. And we really had, I would say, between 500-600 people flow through, based on the location. And we got just terrific feedback, and terrific feedback from two people. Two groups. One was the residents and the other were the vendors. And the vendors are the people we're interested in. Okay, well, we're interested in the residents, but the vendors we're interested in terms of promoting their services. So things like that. And that's what, that's what we do. We really have a blank slate. So our ears are open. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments up to now? Okay, so the next thing on our agenda are committee expectations. It's really committee expectations and procedure. Okay, the big expectation is that you attend and you participate, and that's really important. And you don't have a business background. All you have to do is take a look around and keep your eyes open and speak to some residents. And if things come up in terms of merchants having problems, residents having problems, it's something that you want to bring to the committee. The other part is, in terms of participation, is that we do have to generate one overall objective for the year, which we'll speak about next year. And at that point, all your input is important. In terms of procedures, the process is very clear. First of all, in terms of the committees, everybody who's a resident member or a board member has a vote. I will say that on certain committees, the resident members carry the committees, and it's terrific because it gives all of our residents a chance to speak and to act. The process is that you have to attend and participate. If you miss 3 meetings, we keep attendance. We ask you if you want to continue on the committee. And that doesn't count if something happens, if you're sick, if you're traveling, whatever reason it is. And I think the key is that if you just communicate with the board office, and I didn't have Mia introduce herself. Mia, you want to do a quick introduction? I apologize.
No worries, Warren. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mia Hilton. I'm the Assistant District Manager at Community Board 9. I've been with the board since 2017. I am also a longtime resident of the community and in the district. Glad that everyone's here tonight and hopeful and excited for the new meeting session to see exactly what the committee can accomplish.
Excellent, thank you. And I will say Mia is an extremely valuable member of our community as well as office staff. She knows what's happening, and as important, she knows how to get things done. So it's very important. So in terms of the processes, the committee meets and the committee generates ideas, and then we do a strategy of how we're going to implement it. And from that, the committee votes to do it or to not do it, or if any issues come up. Once the committee votes, it then goes to the executive board, and the executive board either supports it or doesn't support it. I will say from historically, the executive board usually supports things and programs unless they're not doable due to certain constraints. And then if need be, the executive board recommends to the full board and the full board votes on it. And then you have the okay to move ahead. But the key here is that the committee votes, but the committee vote has two other checks. One is the executive board and the other is the full board. Now, why do we have that? Okay, number one, the only person who could speak for our board is the chairman, Fred Baptiste. And a lot of times our district manager's name is Dante, and Dante runs the office. So they're really the two who could speak for our board. And we have to be very careful because making representations to the community and not having the board back it is obviously not a good thing. So that's one reason. The other reason is money. And the next thing on my agenda happens to be fundraising. So to explain how the community board is funded, the picture is a debit card. All the community boards throughout the city get X amount of money. And it was $250,000. I don't know where that is at this point, but that $250,000 pays for rent, personnel, operating the office, etc. Based on, and the other part is that everything that we want to purchase goes to Borough Hall, and I think the Office of Management and Budget, and it's okay. It's actually a great system. And then once they okay it, we're able to, they release a purchase order. The only things that the board office can pay for events is infrastructure stuff. Like if you need chairs, tables, if depending on the thing, a low cost room rental, cannot buy food, but can provide water. So in order to do a good event, you're going to need other funds. And we do fundraising. And the fundraising goes through an organization called Friends of Community Board 9. It's a 501c. And the leadership of that, and by the way, this is about 20 years old, way before our time. The leadership of that are the elected members from the executive board. Specifically three, I think 3 or 4, the chair, first vice chair, treasurer, and secretary. And it's a great capability. It's been dormant for the last couple of years by prior administrations. And one of the executives board's objectives is to get it going this year. So what we've done is we have a new treasurer who has a great skill set. And we have reactivated it. So we've just recently opened the bank account so we can accept money. And it's really a tool to go out and to raise money. Now, we can raise money a couple of different ways. We can speak to, and we means all of us, we can speak to elected officials about earmarking some money for a specific use. We have a lot of councilmen and people who earmark $1,000 or $2,000 for, let's say, the education committee, or they'll earmark $2,000 for the community, the economic development committee, to do community outreach for a specific subject. And that's one way we can do it. The other way we can do it is we can get sponsorships for events. And that's not as hard as it sounds, but we have been very successful in the past with that, and we need to reactivate it. And this is something we can talk about. But the important part is the community board itself has X amount of dollars, and more than that, there's limits on what they can spend. So it's infrastructure and water. So it's bread and water. So it's a tough world out there. But anyway, you know, that's really that. What else? Okay. Now, in terms of friends of, we've recently gotten some. There's a thing called acting as a fiduciary for another organization that does not, another volunteer organization that does not have a 501c, and that's something we do also. In the past, when Zellner was first elected, they had some donations and they asked us to deposit it for them. And then what we did, we were pass through. We paid for certain invoices up to that. Now, the other thing that can happen, because we have become a little smarter, is that presently we are entitled as a fiduciary to charge a certain percentage for doing this, and you know, for taking the money. And it makes complete sense because you have to file taxes, and a 501c tax return is huge. You have to hire accountants, etc. And hopefully, if we can get enough pass through there, we have some money left over to fund events. So that's something we're working on. And that is really it. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, so what we're going to do is let me just, you have the attendance, Mia? Because I see there are people missing. We have Dexter, we have Allison.
Yeah, I've taken an account of everyone in the room.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so what I'd like to do is for everyone to think about what I've said. Hopefully you'll be motivated to participate in the committee. And by all means, think of suggestions and things that you know from your stakeholders. And that's an important thing from people you know of what help people need, and that can generate programs for us to do. And I think that's all I have to say. Does anybody have anything in terms of what I just said, or we're good? Okay, we don't have any old business. We don't have any new business. So we will be meeting on the third Monday of the month at 7 p.m. It's important that everybody take a look at the Friday email blast. It provides a lot of information as well as other committees. And probably the best improvement I've seen there is that it gives the meeting, and then it has click to join meeting. So there's a link for each meeting, which is really friendly in my mind. Okay.
Or
So that's it.
can I give a little just recommendation, just that all of the committee members come back to the next committee meeting with at least one idea that they think would be helpful in jumpstarting the local economy here in CB9, or some ideas of what you think would be helpful for some of our small mom and pop businesses to continue to thrive post-COVID.
That's a great contribution. Thank you. No, that's really it. And I will tell you that I've noticed, especially on Nordstrom Avenue, between Sterling and Lefferts, there are 4 new businesses opening. So I think what that indicates is that rents are going down. You know, and that's the other thing. If you know, what we'll do is we'll contact these people, or we'll introduce ourselves, and we have to let, and this you can tell your merchants, anytime they have a problem with with the bureaucracy of the city, it's something that we're very adept at handling. So, you know, just things like that. But taking me as a suggestion, if you could come back with an idea or say we need help and what deficiencies you see, we could build upon that and get going.
Hi, everyone. This is Allison. Mia, would it be possible to email us with that prompt?
So most definitely, I can definitely send it a follow-up email. I'll send it tomorrow morning, just as a reminder, with a reminder.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks, Allison.
Okay, so it was a pleasure meeting all of you.
Oh, Warren Stuckey has her
yeah.
hand up.
Hi, Warren.
Hi,
I just
I'm on
wanted
my
to
phone.
introduce myself. I'm not a committee member. I'm a CB9 member. I sit on the ULURP committee, which is land use. What we do is zoning. I just want to give a shout out to the fact that there's zoning for residential housing, but there's also commercial zoning. There's 2 halves of the zoning code. There's commercial zoning and residential zoning. Obviously, commercial zoning concerns you guys. So I just wanted to, Warren knows this, he's on the ULURP committee. I just wanted to make sure you're all aware. And if you ever want to come to the land use committee, feel free. We're meeting tomorrow.
At 7 p.m. Okay, thank you, Suki. Appreciate that. And everything is intertwined, whether it's public safety, whether it's health, etc. You know, one of the most things I concentrated on was job creation. So that covers over to the public safety committee that hears licenses, and one of the questions on it is, who are you hiring? How many people are you hiring? And are they from our district? And things like that. So it's all intertwined. And if you have any interest of going to any of the meetings, by all means do that. So if there's no other comments or questions, thanks again for attending.
Hi,
We appreciate
sorry, this is Allison again. I have one more question.
Sure, go ahead.
Would you be able to, this is my very first community board anything.
Okay.
Would it be possible to elaborate one more time on the difference between, in the Economic Development Committee in particular, on the differences between resident members and board members? I was assigned to be a resident member. I don't know what the difference is, and I would love to be as involved as possible, but again, want to know what
No, that's a great question. So board members are appointed by the borough president, and there are up to 50 board members, and they try to have it reflective of the demographics of the community. And the board members are full board members, and they can vote at the monthly community board meeting. The resident members have not applied to become board members, which you're welcome to do. And we'll be announcing that when that happens. It's usually in January, February. And resident members can vote on the committees only. And that's really the difference. You are more than welcome to attend any of our meetings, the executive board meetings, especially if this is your introduction, or our monthly meetings. And you may decide that you want to actually be on the board. So you send in an application. There's nothing to lose. But that's the difference. You have the right to comment and to vote on the committee level, where board members can comment on the committee level and vote on the committee level, as well as the actual full board meetings. On the committee level, is there a difference? No. Okay, it should be very democratic, and we welcome all ideas. And as I said before, on certain committees, like our Transportation Committee, we have a very strong showing of resident members, and they really make large contributions. And more important, they're the eyes and ears of what's going on, just like you are. How was that, Allison?
That is so helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay, and if you have any questions, I'm available to answer any questions, and the board officers. So if you need anything, or just email or text or whatever, and just contact the board office, and then we'll get back to you. All right, and we want to nurture everybody here because we need leadership for the future. So if that's it, I just want to thank everyone. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay, do we have a second? Come on, Allison, say I second it.
I second you.
I see that you're already participating. All right, so that's it. Everyone have a great night. And if anything comes up, please contact the office. And if you need to get in touch with me, contact the office and I'll give you a call. So thank you all. Have a very good night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
all.
Have a good evening.
Right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.